And welcome, everybody. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. We come to you Mondays through Fridays, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I should say. Talk to you about people, places, the trends, and events that shape the city of Las Vegas. And welcome, folks. It's a Monday. I'll tell you, I'm just excited because so many cool things happened this weekend. I hope you were in town this weekend. I really do, because if you weren't in town this weekend, you probably missed some of the most exciting sports action, and in addition to the 9/11 remembrance ceremonies, just tons of stuff. And we'll talk all about those in just a minute. I want to welcome all of our friends on Facebook today. We had some real glitchy things happen last week. I mean, it was just kind of actually very frustrating because we were not able to get our show up online. For some reason, Facebook has kind of changed things. And when they change things, it means basically that everything in your life is going to change also, which is very kind of scary. And so it looked as though we hopefully you were able to get the show. If you weren't able to get the show, you can actually go to our website at livininvegas.com. It's livininvegas.com, and you can actually check out the show because we did post it on there, so you can actually check out the show for Friday. And once again, I think Facebook has just gone way too far. They've just gone way too. So in an effort to put you and to keep you online as long as they possibly can, Facebook has basically made every page that you've ever had a different profile. And when you have a different profile for every page, it means you can't readily share with those pages unless you are the profile for that page. Okay, some of you understand what that means. Basically, what that means is it makes it tough. It makes it tougher for anybody and everybody to do anything on pages. And I have several pages, folks, because that's what I do for a living. So I have a lot of pages, and each one of them, Facebook wants me to be the actual page when I'm on there. Because if I'm not the page itself, the profile for the page, and I'm just using my main profile, they won't let me post to that page. So I think we've gotten around it a little bit, and we'll see what happens. So I want to welcome all my friends and fans who are on Facebook. I wish this could go on Twitter too, because on Twitter this weekend, we went nuts on Twitter this weekend, especially for the game. We'll talk about it in just a minute, the Las Vegas Aces game. But before we do this, let's just pay a couple of bills here. And so for those of you who may not know who I am, I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. And this is actually the... I keep pointing in the wrong direction. So this is actually the current edition of Livin in Vegas magazine. And I hope you're able to get it. Just go to our website at livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com. And you can actually check out the current edition of Livin in Vegas magazine. Okay? Be sure you get there and check that out. Also, we're going to be changing the edition of Livin Weekly magazine, because this is actually the Livin Weekly magazine cover, but it's going to be changing today. Okay, so changing today, that will actually have the new edition of Livin Weekly magazine up. We promised you that we were going to get that up, so we will have that up today. So looking forward to having that, and you can actually see both of them, Livin Weekly or Livin in Vegas magazine. Just go to our website at livininvegas.com. Also, we are going to be this weekend. Is it this weekend? Yeah, this weekend coming up. We're going to be at... Oh, we got to get rid of all this stuff, guys. Just get rid of that. Okay, there you go. I'm going to be opening up the Constitution Day celebration over at the West Charleston Library. So you can actually go over there. That's going to be Saturday, I believe. Saturday? Yeah, let me look. Yeah. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. September 17th. It'll start at about 11 a.m. to about 1 p.m. Brenda Flank has invited an all-star crew of folks to be there. Judge Douglas Herndon will be there. Randy Voyard will be there. I haven't seen Randy in so long. Michelle Mortensen, the former news anchor for, I think it was Channel 8 that she was a part of. So she'll be there also. And tons of other people. And really, it's all in a celebration of the Constitution. It's just in keeping with the whole theme of things that are going on here in the city, which is just, it's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting to see that our city, and especially Brenda, this is her 15th year. I think it's her 15th year doing this. Yeah, 15th annual observation of the Constitution thing, and she's done this for years and years. So, once ago, I want to apologize. I've had just the longest weekend, and you'll know why once we start getting into the show here. So, come out Saturday to check it out. As a matter of fact, I've been really busy here, folks. This weekend I had many of you know that I'm a pastor now, and so kind of an associate pastor thing going on. And the our church, Family Worship Center, our lead pastor, Pastor Adam Childress, was in California. He and his lovely bride, Julie, Pastor Julie, they were in California. And so when they were there, they said, hey, guess what? Can you keep the Buick running? So, sure, Pastor, I'll be more than happy to. And so a lot of us just kind of juggled spaces. I wasn't leading worship. Cece was doing, not Cece Winans, but Cece Newton was leading worship, and I got to lead the service, which was fun, and got a good response from the folks. I got to put my other glasses, folks. There you go. It's a little better. And I got a good response, and people. It was a glorious moment, and we had such a great time. So, and now this week we've got more things we're doing, and we're going to be just completely busy. And so once again, I want to welcome our friends who are watching us on Facebook. If you're watching us on Twitter, YouTube, that kind of stuff. If you're watching us on YouTube, I really encourage you. Right here is actually a little subscribe button. Okay, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe that button. We want to get our subscription base for on our page up to about 1,000 people. Okay, get it. So if you're watching us on YouTube, you're watching us on Facebook, go over to our YouTube channel. Okay, and just look up Livin in Vegas, hosted by me, Sherman Ray, and subscribe to that page. Okay, subscribe, get us up there, folks. Okay, the only way we're going to be able to continue with this show and continue with all the stuff that we're doing is if you like us. Okay, and then you tell everybody how cool we are, that kind of stuff. Okay, thank you so much. I just got a message from somebody too. That was actually very nice. So we really encourage you to like us, to love us, to tell everybody, tell all your friends about us, and if you're on our Facebook page, because I can actually see you if you're on our Facebook page, just say, hey Sherman, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, that kind of stuff. Because I know somebody just said hello and I missed it. So just do that, okay? Rico Soprano, come on, Rico, brother, what's up? Let us know who you are, and we will give you a shout out. So we'll be back. We'll pay a couple of bills here, folks, and we'll be back with a little bit more of Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, and we'll be back in just a second with a little bit more of the show. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Folks, we are back. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Let's talk a little bit about the number one story for this weekend, folks. By far, the number one story for this weekend was our Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces, and many of you know, I'm an Aces fan, and I've been a Las Vegas Aces fan forever. Before they had all of the stars and the celebrities watching them from the court side, myself, my brother-in-law, and a handful of fans braved the casino crowd to go see the Aces play because I believed in them. I just I've been trying, and many of you heard this story before. I have been. It's 2022 right now. I reached out to the Aces in 2018 and 2020 to have them be a part of. We wanted to adopt them because at the time I was the founder. I still am the founder, I guess. I was the president of the Black Business Chamber of Commerce, and so we wanted to adopt them and say, hey, we'll be your sponsors. We'll do whatever it is to be behind you guys because I had a feeling they were going to be really great. Okay. And if you've read any of the stories that I've written about the Aces, I've predicted that this year they would take the title. Where are they at right now, folks? That's right. Number one seed. They've just won the first game of the final 5 games that they have to play to win the championship. And if they win 3 out of the 5, that's it. So let's check out what they did this weekend against the Connecticut Sun, folks. It was amazing. This is Chelsea Gray, the point guard. And number 12 hits a fadeaway jumper. And here goes again. Chelsea is my girl. Come on, give her a kiss. Chelsea Gray. I'll tell you, is that exciting? Man, I could watch it all day long. So we watched them yesterday, and halftime the Aces were behind by about 4 points at halftime, and the third quarter there was a turnaround by about 6 points. So the Aces were up by a couple of points, and down the stretch the Aces just put it away. They just put it away. It was just an exciting game. It seemed as though at the end of the game that the Aces had let down a little bit, but really, no, they really had not. They were just coasting because they had won the game. And many people have already said that the playoffs already had happened between the Sun and the Aces because that was really a more competitive game. And that nobody really expected Connecticut to really match up with the Aces. But that being as it may, we will not give up. Okay, and I'm so excited for the girls. They just did a fantastic job. And hopefully you got to see the game. We were on Twitter, so many of you probably are wondering what we do in the evenings. Twitter, we're all over Twitter in the evening times. And we get a lot of people on Twitter, hundreds of people on Twitter who are listening to what we say and enjoying what we say, especially when it comes to the games, because there's so many people who are Aces fans, and I love Aces, or I love the UNLV. Another story that came out, and this is kind of on a somber note. Let's do this first. Let's do the 9/11 thing. Okay, so 9/11, they did a memorial this weekend. They call it the Professional Firefighters of Nevada. They hosted their annual 9/11 memorial procession on Fremont Street this weekend. And many of you know that in 2001, we had the World Trade Center terrorist attacks, and the country really came together at that time. As a matter of fact, that's what my sermon was about this weekend, was about the first responders and how they gave up everything they could in an instant to save so many people. Well, the Professional Firefighters Association, or the PFFN, Professional Firefighters of Nevada, led its annual September 11th tribute procession on Fremont Street, on the Fremont Street Experience Sunday evening. And I wish I had the video on that. I just don't have the video for it, but I'll try to get some more of that stuff up. And we continue, and we will never forget the sacrifice that the men and women who gave their lives during that time on that fateful day. We just don't want to forget them ever, and that's really important. Also, this gentleman right here, Steve Ross, and many of you know who Steve Ross is. Steve Ross and I go back actually quite a ways. Steve Ross was the city council person here in Las Vegas. He represented, what ward was he in? Was he Ward 6, I believe? I'm sorry. I've got a glitch, and it looks, good. Having a glitch here, folks. It's one of those moments where everything kind of glitches. So Steve Ross Oh my gosh, it did leave. Let's get that story back. I'm sorry, I've got to find the story now because sometimes I have a glitch, folks, and when you have a glitch, you just don't want to have a glitch. Um, there it is. Okay, so Steve Ross died this weekend, and Steve Ross was a former city councilman. He died at the age of 59. Um, the reason why I know Steve is, and many of you know this, I was an electrician before I got into the media business, and Steve was an electrician also, and I worked with him before. I've worked with him closely before, and when he left the electrical trade to become a city councilman, people went, "Oh my gosh, that's just very strange that he would." Nobody realized that he had that acumen or that he had that desire to be a part of the city government, but he did, and he ran for office and he won, and we were very proud of him that he actually won that race. Well, some years later, he actually served 3 terms, and he termed out, and then he went back to being an electrician. And at the age of 59, though, he passed, and we still don't know why he passed or what the circumstances were, but we're very proud of the fact that Steve Ross served our city. He served his community, and so we're very, very excited for him that he did that. And our condolences to his family. Let's pay another bill really quick here, folks. We'll be back with more of the Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, and we'll be back in just a second. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. All right. Okay, and we are back, folks. This is Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all back to the show, and thank you so much for being a part of the show. And I want to thank all the folks who came out to the Family Worship Center this weekend to cheer me on, which is great. Thank you so much, Antoine, and people like that. And we had a visiting bishop from Nigeria, man. I did a DNA test a number of years ago and found out that I am Nigerian by way of Jamaica, or I'm Jamaican by way of Nigeria, one of the two. So originally my family's from Nigeria, and they came to Jamaica, then up here to America. So a visiting bishop I've met him before. I forgot the guy's name now. Oh, I thought I had one of his cards here in front of me because I was looking at it. He and his wife came dressed to, in a tradition Nigerian kind of gown and the hat and stuff like that, which is very nice. And one of the guys who was at church goes, "Man, I don't have nothing in my closet that look like that." I go, "Wow, I'm sure you don't. It's quite the garb." So I want to thank them for coming out and enjoying the service and stuff like that. So let's go on with a couple more stories here. There's actually a food drive that is going to be going on, and it's called Four Corners. This is actually really, many of you have probably heard of Three Square. Now, Three Square was actually, I guess, seed money for Three Square was put up by the Hilton folks, and it's huge. It's just huge. It's a national model project inspired by founder Eric Hilton with a grant provided by Conrad Hilton Foundation, so the Hilton folks. Three Square is Southern Nevada's only food bank and the largest hunger relief organization serving Las Vegas, Clark County, Lincoln, Esmeralda, and Nye counties. So it's huge. And so they're going to have an event on the 22nd and 23rd. And we really encourage you to be a part of something like this. We'll leave a link to this on our Facebook page, actually on our website. where you can check it out. So it's Thursday the 22nd and Friday the 23rd from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be huge. So for every dollar donated, Three Square can create 3 wholesome meals for our community. And so these are some stunning statistics here. 1 in 7 Southern Nevadans struggle with hunger. 1 in 7. 1 in 4 children live in food insecurity. So in their homes, they just don't have enough to eat. And so hunger doesn't discriminate. It doesn't discriminate between men and women, boy, girl, religion, or anything like that. So they said last year, Three Square provided 51 million pounds of food. Wow. It's equivalent to 42 million meals. And so we'll leave all their information on our website at livinvegas.com, so you can check it out a little bit later, and you can actually check out all of these stories. Let's shift gears here, folks. Over at UNLV, I love our girls over at UNLV. And so UNLV had a great time this weekend. This is Mimi Mendoza. She's the one in the red getting ready to give that good old college kick. We beat Idaho State this weekend, which is just exciting. Senior Mimi Mendoza, she scored the game-winning goal, 74-minute mark, to beat the Idaho State team over at Peter Johann Memorial Field Sunday afternoon. So very excited for Mimi that she did a great job. And it's funny because so Mimi won, the women's soccer team won. It wasn't so the UNLV Rebels, the running Rebels, the football team didn't win. They came back. And it's the same thing with the Raiders. So many of you probably were watching the Raiders this weekend. Oh man, what a heartbreaker! And Coach Josh Daniels said something very interesting. He said, "You know what? We beat ourselves." And they really did. I watched the entire game. And the defense looked good, even though they were playing against Justin Herbert. The defense for the Raiders looked great. And they were holding the guy. I mean, they were holding him. They were, sacking the guy, all that good stuff. It's just we had too many turnovers. And when you have turnovers, that'll generally catch up with you. But the good thing about it, and do I have the story? Okay, I have the story. I don't have a picture for it. We did debut Davante Adams. And Davante Adams, you remember him, folks. I think we got him from the Green Bay Packers. And Davante, brother can catch. I got to tell you, I was thoroughly impressed with Davante Adams. He had, 10 catches? I think he had 10 catches, 141 yards, something like that. Let's see. Let me double check here. Yeah, 10 catches, 141 yards. Masterful. I mean, this guy has got some serious skills. The 2 top receivers in the league, Davante Adams and the other guy played actually for San Diego. Los Angeles Chargers. The guy who played for the Chargers actually left the game. I don't think he's going to be playing for the next couple of games. I think he blew out a hammy or something like that. So Davante is going to be able to add to his list of accomplishments and stuff like that he's doing. I'm just very excited for him. So despite the loss, Davante said that he's got a positive outlook on the team. Thinks the team is going to look great. I think the same thing. The same thing with the Dallas Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys lost yesterday, I'm more concerned with what happened with Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott did something to his thumb. I'm almost positive that he thinks that he broke it. So, we'll just pray for the best, because it was bad juju on that. In a completely unrelated story, over at, did I even have this story up here? Oh, no. Okay, well, I've got the story. I thought so we're going to expand the show just a little bit. We're going to look up towards Reno. And Reno, they're having, this weekend, they were really pushing for a balloon race, a balloon exhibition. and evidently the weather was just terrible, and but they were saying, look, and I hope many of you got out this weekend to see what was going on. We had smoke, we had dust, we had rain, sleet, snow, like we have right now. Um, but the folks up in Reno said, hey, look, we are going to have a race. Despite the hazy and unhealthy air, large crowd gathered at the park out in Reno and to watch the festivities at the Great Reno Balloon Race. And here's what I am really hoping happens, folks, is that we bring that back down here. And because I know one of the balloon, what would you call them? Racers? I guess we'd call them racers. So I know one of them. His name is, what? My wife will remember as soon as I say it. And I'll remember in probably just a couple minutes. But a couple of people I do know who actually are in the balloon itself. One guy left his job. He was a realtor. Left his job as a realtor. He's very, very successful. He and his wife are very successful realtors. But he loved balloons. He loved being in balloons. He loved going up in the air. And so he left. Sheldon Grauberger. Thank you. I'm sorry. I heard that in my ear. Sheldon Grauberger left his job as a realtor, he and his wife, and went and started flying balloons. And he's been doing it ever since. He just loves it. He loves going up in the air and coming back down, which is pretty cool. So that's what's going on up there. And I guess the last story. Let's end on a really positive note here. Once again, we're going outside of Las Vegas just for a little bit, and to talk about what's going on out in Pahrump. So many of you know that inflation has kind of leveled off a little bit. Gas prices are down ever so slightly, which has affected our home prices here in the valley. Well, it has not affected. As a matter of fact, it affected our home prices so much that I think they went down by like 3% or something like that, or 3.2%, or about $15,000. We talked about this last week. This article from the Pahrump Valley Times says that the home prices in Pahrump have not gone down. Oh no, they're still there. As a matter of fact, they're still up by about 15%, and they're doing just fine. So if you're a homeowner out in Pahrump, you're doing fantastic. Your prices are all up. Here in Vegas, not so much. They're softening just a little bit. They actually have an inventory of homes, which is great for first-time home buyers. Now, if you can keep the interest rates from just going through the roof, maybe people will actually be able to buy homes and be able to stay here in the valley. Okay. So we're about done, folks. We've got a lot of work to do because today the newest edition of Livin Weekly will be out. I hope that you can actually pick it up. Just go to our website, livininvegas.com. That's livininvegas.com, and you can check it out. It'll come out by 5 o'clock today, and it'll run all week long, which will be great. There'll be a great story about the Girls of Summer, and I know you know who that is. Oh yeah, you know who it is. It's the Girls of Summer. So there'll be a great article in there. Also, if you don't get our mailing list, or you're not on our mailing list, you don't get our newsletter, you can write to me, folks. Can I put that up there? Can we put up the address here really quick before we leave? No, we don't have time for it. So write to me at info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com, and you can get on our mailing list. You'll get all of our stuff every day. Every day we actually send something out. The podcast comes out Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but our newsletter goes out every day so you can keep up with the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. I'm your humble host, Sherman Ray, folks, for the Livin in Vegas podcast. We'll see you again Wednesday for another edition of Livin in Vegas podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.